evening.
Hello and welcome to our third Doctor Who quiz special.
The third instalment.
Series 3, which introduces Martha Jones.
Liam acquiesce on YouTube. This is a free-to-play quiz, so imagine that you're playing a quiz at home. You just play live on here. We've got a score sheet, which you can play if you want to. It's not mandatory. I've pinned it to the YouTube comments just for now. It's 4 different rounds, all about different subjects to do with the third series of Doctor Who. It's just for fun. There's no prizes, but it's for people who want to have a bit of a get-together.
Yeah. On the last one, we've tended to make it a little easier, the quiz, because we didn't want to isolate anyone. But we got told with your comments last time that you wanted the next quiz to be a little bit harder. So we have put it slightly harder.
Only a little bit.
But not enough to, not enough that it's too hard for just general people just watching in.
Yeah.
So as long as you've seen it, you should be all right. There's just a few geeky questions in there that we've added in.
Yeah, you don't need to be a super fan by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Hi Kathleen, long time no see. Hi to you. Sophia is back. So excited for this quiz ever since the last Doctor Who quiz over on Twitch.
Oh, we've got some cracking questions for you. Some cracking graphics as well.
So we're going to be live in about 8.5 minutes or so.
And then just as the quiz starts, we're going to give you a poll that you can basically say who you think is your best Doctor of New Who, with the exception of David Tennant, because this round is all about David Tennant.
Yes. Roy says, good evening, we're having a go tonight, but don't expect to do well. As with all things, your score is totally unimportant. As long as you have fun in the quiz, that's all that matters.
Yes.
On the score sheet, just put yourselves in there. There's 4 rounds. Each round's worth about 20 points. And you can do that on there as well.
Yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to. If you just want to sit and watch, like you watch a TV game show at home, that's fine.
Shout at the TV.
Yeah, we do find that people like to watch it on YouTube on their TVs, but then comment on Facebook. Just because we had a slight issue yesterday, if we disappear off Facebook, basically we had a copyright claim against us, which was completely false, but it kicked us off Facebook on the live stream. If that happens again, we will literally come straight back in with a brand new stream. So just go to the Quiz Actually page and you'll see us live again.
Yeah.
So just in case that happens.
Yeah, YouTube and Twitch is normally fine. So if you do prefer to be on YouTube and Twitch, .tv, we are on there as well. Hi Karen D. We've also got Jennifer Morris just starting from Kansas. Well, hello.
Oh, hello in Kansas. You got just before me there. We're saying hello to Karen D.
Any more dingbats tonight, says Sophia?
There might be.
Might be.
You'll have to wait till the intro.
So we've got the poll there. I'll do that in just before we start the quiz. Hi Jocelyn, you're on YouTube tonight.
Excellent.
So as we said with all these quizzes, there are quizzes for fun people, not want to be Einsteins. So they're not going to be overly taxing if you're not a super fan. If you're a Doctor Who chaser, like somebody we know on YouTube, then these will be fairly easy for you. But for everybody else, they should be just tricky enough to have fun.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that you actually enjoy doing this, because there's no prizes. It doesn't really matter how many scores you score, as long as you enjoy it. What we loved last time was how many kids got one over on their parents because they knew the answers and their parents didn't. And we love that, those comments that we were getting like that.
Mally Pierce says, I've kicked my other half out so I can do it in peace. So I've got it in YouTube on my TV, Facebook on my tablet so I can chat. Good idea.
Excellent.
Jocelyn's going to be switching over to Facebook shortly. And Kathleen says, no, not the dingbats. You love the dingbats, really?
Yeah, she just said the dingbats from Series 1 was so hilarious. We shall see.
Xander says, is my fellow fact information villain tonight? I can't remember the name. Charlie Grant. He won't be here tonight. He just popped on to say hello. But he'll be back on tomorrow because he's doing other things this weekend. Yeah.
Our regular quizzes, our normal general knowledge quizzes, are on Mondays and Fridays at the same time. But next Sunday, as a special, we're doing our first Harry Potter quiz, which will be questions from the first 2 films.
Yes.
And it will be starting a little earlier at 6:45.
5:45.
5:45, sorry, just before 6 o'clock, just so the kids can take part.
Yeah, because we do think that Potterheads tend to be a little bit younger than the Doctor Who fans. So if their bedtime's at 7:30, they'll just be in time for that.
Cracking comment from Trevor on YouTube. There's a format happening with these comments from him. He says, hi Mark and your tin dog.
Just because he doesn't want to mention my name, does he? That whatever his name is.
Tin Dog, you're about the same height.
Affirmative.
I was meaning Mickey, actually.
Kansas Gals have met on YouTube now. There you go.
Hey.
Because actually family grows ever larger. So yeah, we are on Mondays and Fridays, the same time as tonight, wherever your local time zone is.
Last night we did a music special, and there's some fantastic voices on there.
You can always go back and watch those on our YouTube. I'd recommend you watch it on the YouTube because of our interruption last night. But other than that, you're fine. Hi, Tracy Ann Kitching. Welcome back. Linda Oliver. Hi, Alex and Mickey the Idiot. There you go, Linda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda.
Mickey the Idiot. I like it.
I'm getting new fans from here, aren't I? It makes a change. Normally on our regular quizzes, everyone gangs up on me and is really nice to Alex. This here is great because it's the other way around.
Apart from Linda, who's on my side.
I called you Mickey the Idiot.
No, she said, hi, Alex and Mickey the Idiot.
Oh, right.
Hence
Linda.
the reason he's the idiot.
Because I got it wrong. I think we should put the poll up.
Okay. All right, so this is just if you want to. Again, you don't have to.
Again, it's just for fun, really.
It's just for fun. It's the straw poll. Go on there. You can vote for who you think. Who is your favourite Doctor of New Who, apart from David Tennant, because obviously he's the star of the show. So we're going to leave it for this one. But
he tops every single quiz. So.
But I mean, the next series we do, we might put him in and take out Matt Smith. You know.
We have included Paul McGann.
And Joe Martin.
Joe Martin is obvious because it was in the main series. But Paul McGann actually appeared as a little internet prequel to the one with the 3 Doctors in, which was actually, if you've never seen that, I know all the Doctor. I think all the Doctor Who fans will have, but if you haven't seen that before, that's really, really good.
Xander says whoever wrote it, Eccleston doesn't have an E. Well, to his friends he has an E. He told me personally that his actual surname has an E on it, but only to his friends. So there you go. So again, all you have to do, you can vote on there. Night of the Doctor, that's the name of it. Thank you, Xander.
Night of the Doctor.
Speaking of idiots, who came on at 6:45? I wonder why no quiz is starting, says Anne. That's next Sunday. Next Sunday's going to be starting a little bit earlier. Not tonight.
Yes.
Have you decided if you're doing How I Met Your Mother quiz yet, Mark?
Ooh.
I'd like that. I like How I Met Your Mother.
I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. Leanne says, yup, Alfie, my 70-year-old, is about to kick my butt with this quiz.
Hi guys, casually multitasking, writing lecture notes and taking part in the quiz. Love the Doctor Who quizzes. That's from Deanna on YouTube. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining us, Deanna.
Yeah. Suggestion, Leanne, between you and your 17-year-old, whoever loses makes all the cups of tea tomorrow, or coffee, or whatever you drink.
Good idea.
Have a bet between each other.
So the votes are already still coming in. Couple Doctors haven't got a single vote yet.
Aww.
But there you go. We're going to be starting in about 2 minutes. So if you are watching on catch up, you're not watching it live, you can fast forward 2 minutes if you don't want to hear two nerds waffling on.
Waffling. We did in the first 2 quizzes. We included the Christmas specials. We haven't this time because we're going to hold those back and do a specials quiz when we hit the mini series of specials with Waters of Mars?
Waters of Mars.
Yeah, those little mini episodes that they did all in one go. So we're going to put the Christmas episodes in with that.
Oh, Xander didn't mean Charlie. He meant Lewis George. Is Lewis George back again to be Xander's rival tonight? Yeah, the 2009 specials when there were all the writing strikes and all that sort of stuff happened.
Is that what it was?
I don't know. Xander will tell us.
Xander will tell us. Why did they do the mini episodes, Xander, rather than do a proper series?
Poppy Randall has just said, yay. I'm watching Doctor Who as we speak. There you go. You're multitasking. I expect you to get...
I hope it's not Series 3 you're watching, because that could be cheating.
Yeah.
Oh, the voting sheet. It is... We'll put that back in for you.
Do that for you again, absolutely. Put that there, and it is there. I'm not going to pin it just in case people can't get to the score sheet, but I'll put it in again. I'll pin it on the YouTube as well. And Twitch is fine because no one's talked to us on in there. It's fine. So there's the straw poll again if you want. I'll be putting it up later on in the quiz as well. Throughout the quiz I'll be putting that up. So there, we've got a couple more in there now. Fantastic. And we're okay on there. Brilliant. Alright. Let's get ourselves onto the intro at least. You lot are lovely, just saying. I think Jocelyn means that for everyone. Everyone here is lovely. We're all a big family.
Yes. Right. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Right. Oh, there's no pausing. Why have you not paused? There we go. Right. And There we go. Okay, so there we are. We're live Mondays and Fridays. If you haven't watched us before and you mind tuning in just for a Doctor Who one, we do the same sort of thing. It's all general knowledge questions Mondays and Fridays. But with that being said, we'll start with the intro so you can see what your rounds are.
To play, don't you know? We won't go straight to the floor. Smashing the glass and then a stupid argument. Something they said and because he didn't like it. Even though knows you, doesn't care cause he's barely even sober. Doesn't know what you're doing, what you're saying. Something's brewing in the air, you can feel it tonight. You're not alright. Cause when he's broken and bleeding, he speaks without speaking. He says he'll fight to defeat them. Takes it to the street end until he's broken and bleeding. I speak but I'm speechless. It happens every weekend. Happens every weekend. Cause we like to play, don't you know? We won't go straight to the floor.
And hello, we're back.
And our thanks to Rats, as always, for our theme tune, which is their song Weekend. I just spotted Oliver Spacey saying, yay, they brought back the Dingbats.
Indeed, he did. So if you do want to donate, it's completely optional. We're not going to force you to do anything like that. If you do think the quiz is worth a couple of pounds or a few dollars of your time, it's paypal.me/quiz, actually. All of our quizzes will always remain free, so don't worry about that.
Jennifer saying, I'm not sure where to put your answers. Keep your answers to yourself. You're marking yourself, Jennifer. If you want to, you can actually link up with your friends using a social media app and come together to make your answers. But you're marking yourself, you're doing your answers yourself.
And then you're going to put your scores on the score sheet if you want to.
Yeah. Please, no actual answers in the chat, please. Because it just gives it all away to everybody else.
Yes, and no answers in the chat. Please, the chat is just for general discussions only. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, Charles Kitching. Oh, no, not Dingbats. A long-time fan of ours, it sounds like. And Jeff Brooking says, Jeff from your Quizzer team here. Hello to you, Jeff. Okay.
Okay, we're going to nip out while we run the intro to round one.
Yes, as Jennifer just said, it is an honor system. You're just playing for fun, as we wouldn't be able to police it, and we would think it'd be boring if you did. The more strict you make it, the more people are going to try and cheat. So, as long as it's all free and fun, no one's got any sort of incentive to cheat. It's all for fun.
It's about you being entertained by this, and
To show off your knowledge.
Show off your knowledge or being slightly caught out. We like to give you those tip of the tongue questions where you know it, but you just can't say what it is. That's what we like to do.
So this round is called The Episodes. Every question is to do with one episode of the third series of Doctor Who.
In order. So
In
we
order.
start with the first one and we go all the way to episode 13.
Yes. And each of these slides will have a background that has something to do with the episode, just as a slight reminder.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to do evens for this round, so you can take it away with odds.
Right. Usually, if you're new to the quiz, usually Alex gives me questions that he reckons I won't be able to pronounce or something like that.
Well, I have full confidence in you this time.
So this was the first episode. It introduced Martha Jones. But what I wanted to know is, what else was introduced? Which aliens does the episode introduce?
Sarayu says, thanks for all you do. Thank you so much for joining us, Sarayu, and thank you for your comment. Thank you.
Yes. It's nice to be appreciated.
And I hope I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, please do tell me.
Yes. We're drinking tea because as we talk a lot, you just need to keep the vocal cords a bit lubricated. Then I've got some water afterwards.
All right, moving on to question number 2. Number 2, what's the name of Shakespeare's unfinished sequel? So in the episode, what's the name of Shakespeare's unfinished sequel? I always like the interpretation of having Shakespeare as sort of a Jack the Lad kind of guy rather than a hoity-toity coiffed playwright.
Well, no one knows, do they?
No, but it's just everywhere else you'd imagine him being that way.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at that poll that we've got going. I'm curious. So Matt Smith is tailing Peter Capaldi, and Christopher Eccleston is in third place at the moment. Nobody's voted for Joe Martin or Paul McGann. Poor Paul and Joe.
Joe's in 4th and John Hurt is in 5th.
That being said, Paul McGann, considering he's like the one time you've actually you've only seen him twice in person. He's had probably the most voices, hasn't he? Really, one of the most.
He did a lot of Big Finish stuff, and apparently there were some really good stories in the Big Finish ones that he did.
Donna Potter says, "Don't like Doctor Who, but love your sense of humour and seeing you." Well,
Oh,
there you go.
thank
Thank you
you
very much, Donna. You can always try, even if you get one right. I'm sure you feel accomplished if you don't like Doctor Who.
Question 3. What does the face of Bo tell the Doctor as he dies? What does the face of Bo tell the Doctor as he dies?
Dean Lennox Kelly did make a brilliant Shakespeare, yeah. Always felt badly for Martha. The Doctor just didn't really see her. The peripheral storylines, the other characters, aliens and villains, were great, but I always thought she deserved a better personal storyline. Also, God, but she went through a lot of crap, yes. She did. She was the resistance fighter for the year that never was.
Mm. Apparently there is, I mentioned Big Finish, because I've just started listening to those, obviously with Tom Baker, my hero. There is a Big Finish audio about her year that she was travelling around the Earth. There is an actual audio story on that.
Question number 4, on to this one now. Number 4, which New York building was central to this episode's plot? So which New York building was central to this episode's plot? Or this story's plot, as it were.
Apparently it's called The Story of Martha, as our resident boffin is telling us.
Donna's one of my favourite companions, says Jennifer Morris. I'm a big fan of Donna. I never used to. I warmed to her.
I think she just... I think the main thing was the chemistry between the two of them. They'd worked together previously, I think. It was just purely her and Tennant just basically bounced off each other.
I will say, though, and it's a very controversial opinion, but that's what Doctor Who's all about. It's all about controversial opinions. I think River Song is an overrated character. I think she was used too much.
No.
If she was used more sparingly, I think she would have had a bigger impact, I think.
I think she... Because he knew his time period was only going to be so long, that to get that storyline out, it would have been too rushed. In the way that the Clara story got too rushed because he brought it to the conclusion too quickly. Question number 5. So the 4 Daleks that were in that episode had escaped the Time War, but how did they escape the Time War?
So doing what?
By doing what? Kathleen's on my side with about Alex Kingston. I think she was just such a cracking actress.
Oh, I don't say she's a bad actress. I just think she was used a little bit too much. If she was used maybe 1/8 less, Be more. I think she'd have more of an impact for me.
I would love her to be part of.
Donna got mixed up with herself and the companion Donna.
I would love Riversong to be part of when Jodie Whittaker regenerates. I think that could be quite touching. Just for her to be there to help again.
Alec McKee said Donna reacted the way we would think. Instead of being wild-eyed with wonder, she had just a lot of screaming, saying, "What the bloody hell is that?" Yeah, I liked River's chemistry with Capaldi's doctor. I just think she was using it too much. That's all. Sorry, guys. Don't shoot the messenger. Number 6. Number 6. Who does Martha compare the Doctor to in his evening outfit in this episode? So who does Martha compare the Doctor to in his evening outfit?
Are we able to say what that episode is? I'm just going to look at future questions.
Well, you know from the character in the background, surely.
Yeah, but I'm just to make it ultra clear. No, I think I can mention the episode name, can't I?
Yeah, I don't think you need to, though.
Yeah.
You know the episode because it's the one after that one. It's the one after the episode previous.
It's when they go to the big premiere.
Unpopular opinion, I wasn't really a fan of Clara or Riversong. They were just convoluted storylines, says Jocelyn Rose. Thank you, you've took the heat off me now. I kind of like Clara. Yeah, I didn't like the idea of her being all the way dotted through time. I didn't think that was a good idea.
No, I like that.
I just like Clara.
I just didn't like the ending for Clara. I know he did it as a plot device for the exceptional Hellbent, but I just think it didn't need to be that way.
That's the thing, isn't it? For every 10 brilliant Doctor Who storylines, there are 2 or 3 bad ones. And it doesn't reflect the series. I think that's indicative of every series, isn't it? Clara was an overused character for me, says Kathleen. Okay, on to number 7.
Number 7, the title relates to 42 minutes until what?
So the title of episode 7. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. And what's good from us, from us being sort of moderate Doctor Who fans, well, I'll say moderate with a capital M for me, it's actually good to have a chat with you guys who are really, really into it as well.
All right, moving on. Question number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8. So we're on to some of the best storylines of this series. Number 8. The Doctor throws a cricket ball at the scaffolding. What did this Doctor previously throw to prevent a disaster? So the Doctor throws a cricket ball at the scaffolding in this episode. But what did this Doctor previously throw to prevent a disaster? Kathleen says, yeah, I'm no Bertie. No, Bertie is a rare bird.
B.
A rare bee, yes.
I mean, you're saying this is one of the best episodes. I think this is probably the best story. It's up there with the other one that's coming up in 2 questions' time.
Carrie says, yeah, Hellbent ruined Clara's beautiful death in Face of the Raven. Yeah, Face of the Raven was a really nice way of ending it.
She should have just died there, I feel. And that would have been great. Done, for those who know the classic series, what happened with Adric. Although I feel Adric got killed for various other reasons that have got nothing to do with the plot.
Sarah's showing her superb knowledge of Doctor Who there by saying she thinks he threw some fists.
Question 9. What is John Smith's book called? The one that he gives to the nurse, and that Martha doesn't want her to read. What is that book called? And I bet that book is worth an absolute fortune if they put it up on eBay.
Johnny doesn't really understand number 8. So number 8, the Doctor threw a cricket ball at the scaffolding to prevent the baby being crushed by the piano.
Yeah. He did the same thing in New Who in a different episode.
Yeah, he threw something else in another episode to prevent a disaster. What did he throw in another episode? Harry Lloyd is the best villain, says Caris. Yes. Fantastic, isn't he?
It was really good. I mean, it just had such cracking actors in it per se. You had I can't think of her name now, who played Nurse Redfern. who played Joan Redfern. There was her. Thomas Brody Sangster, who played Tim, a fantastic young actor. It was all the way through. Even the headmaster just played his part brilliantly.
Number 10, onto this one of my favourite ones. Number 10, which iconic Tennant phrase is first used in this episode of Blink? It's not often said, but it's very often quoted. Which iconic Tennant phrase is first used in Blink? Jessica Hines.
Jessica Hines, that's her.
She used to be Jessica Stevenson when she was in Spaced.
Yeah.
Now you said Jessica Hines, I knew it straight away. Thank you, Dave Smith.
Oh, Joe's laptop's playing up again.
I just saw Baines play Charles Xavier in the show Legion. Oh, I need to see Legion. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Thanks to Caris and Linda on YouTube as well for reminding us of Jessica Hines. Thank you very much.
See, this is what we love. We love all the you geeky ones out there that can fill us in with information.
We almost feel like inadequate quizmasters because you know more than we do. I think Clara just died, or should have died, or sort of should have died too often and came back for me. Jocelyn Rose, have you ever seen Supernatural? Die a lot in that. Also, Stargate. Daniel Jackson died like 30 times in that series, didn't he?
And played more people than anybody else.
I've got a Christmas jumper with this written on, says Marley Pierce. Fantastic. Shh. No answers, no hints, please, guys, just in case.
Question 11. All right. In this episode, what is Jack Harkness's Doctor Detector? And he does refer to it as his Doctor Detector.
Tennant Hawk says, thank you for mentioning Stargate. It's my favourite show. I've seen Stargate SG-1. Considering it's one of the longest running sci-fi series of all time, other than Doctor Who, obviously, I must have seen the entirety of SG-1 maybe 10 times. I used to watch it every year, like I used to watch Buffy every year as well.
Yeah, that's another one we could do. We're definitely thinking of doing a Buffy quiz.
Or he might even just do a one-off Whedonverse, which could encompass all the, Dollhouse and Firefly and Buffy and Angel and all that sort of stuff. Jocelyn says, never got into Supernatural, maybe I should give it a go, but yeah, it is over 300 episodes. But again, if you're into Doctor Who, you're already into series that have a long history, so it's not too much of a stretch. Number 12, second to last. With that fantastic makeup, considering the time it was. Number 12, what is the name of the Masters Satellite Network? Yeah, in the early years, Doctor Who wasn't known for its... Well, the special effects are really dated now, but I still think that's quite a good prosthetic.
I just went on about just general TV things, because it's linked to Doctor Who. If you like the new Sherlock, do check out Lupin. Is it Lupin? Lupin on Netflix. It's a cross between Sherlock and Raffles, the gentleman detective of old.
And Ocean's 11.
And Ocean's 11 as well, yeah. It's really good. It's not what you expect it to be. It's very, very cleverly done. And finally, final episode. Who shoots the Master at the end of the episode?
Used to take 2.5 hours to put it on, says Linda. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone always says they want to be in a fantasy piece or a sci-fi piece to solidify their career, but it's like, do you really want to be that guy who has to put on the prosthetics every day for 2.5 hours?
It was the same. I think it was actually longer for Madame Vastra. How long it took her to put that makeup on and then have to take it off afterwards.
Well, you think of people like Doug Jones, who's a really big character actor, who plays Suru in Star Trek Discovery. You must imagine how long it takes you to put that on.
Yeah.
But he's been all sorts of things. He was in Mother and Hellboy. He was in Buffy. He's quite good at... He's the creature guy. He's known because he's really skinny. He's got a really weird long body.
Yeah.
So he's known for being those kind of roles.
Bobby says yes, Buffy and Firefly.
So that is your 13. We're going to have a very quick recap of these now. So I'll pop us back there. We'll put a bit of music back on. That will stay on now for the rest of the quiz. I forgot to put it on, but I think it helps fill the silence. So we'll leave that there. I'm going to turn that a little bit and get that off. On to the recap. So if in case you missed any of these, or you do want a slight reminder, there's a very brief recap for this one, which hasn't loaded up. Come on. I have tons of trivia as well for later, says Xander. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, sir.
Well, this particular series, I think we got something like 300 potential questions that we could have asked. And we've literally whittled them down to around about 70 plus the dingbats, haven't we?
As always, at the end of the quiz, let us know if it was too hard or too easy or about right. Because as we said before, a lot of you did say that the previous quizzes were a little bit too easy, so we've made this one ever so slightly harder. If you think we've really hit the mark, let us know.
You know when female actors are in crazy situations and somehow they stay without a single haircut out of place and always have perfect makeup. Weirdly, how you're saying that, I was watching one of these today, one of these YouTube's US versus UK looking at things, and they had some people from the US watching UK comedy programs just to see their reaction to it, and one was the In-Betweeners. And the point that the Americans were making was how it was average looking people that were in these roles, not the best looking actors who are buff and all this, is what you tend to get over in the US.
It was soap stars that someone asked. It was what the biggest difference between American and English TV is that people in soaps in Britain look really regular. All soaps in America, they're all incredibly beautiful people.
Yeah.
But if you're going to, no offence to anybody else, I'm not calling anybody, but you look at watch Coronation Street or EastEnders, and some of them are just really average looking.
Yeah.
Karen D says, my first quiz with you with Doctor Who, and now you can't get rid of me. We'd have
That's
it
fine.
no other way. And Jocelyn with it, I think about the hair always being in place, kind of does put it out. Yeah. You turn around the corner, you go running around, and you get a lot of hair in your face. And then the next scene, it's all back to normal. It's like you didn't have time to do that. That being said, David Tennant's hair was always perfect, wasn't it? David Tennant's hair was always perfect.
Well, as Rose herself said, great hair.
I agree, as an American, they cast unrealistic expectations on actor roles. Yeah, it's just a weird thing in Britain, we don't really do that. Obviously there is something that makes them look better than average, but they're not model quality. Weird. Cultural differences. Also, as well, a lot of Americans find weird is that we have taps or faucets that are that are cold and warm. They all have combined ones in America because obviously plumbing is a bit more advanced in a newer country than ours. Kathleen, why she prefers British shows? It's just a higher pedigree. Apart from Frasier, Frasier is the best.
The other one that they actually showed, which will probably come from a shock from the American viewers, is the British show Naked Attraction, which is basically soft porn as an excuse of the show. Basically, you have a contestant who chooses from 6 people or to date. Sometimes they're opposite sex, sometimes they're the same sex. And what they do, they're naked behind boxes and it comes further up. And they were just shocked that we had naked people on our TV.
As Xander says, Alex and Mark are fantastic hosts and it replaces my traditional quiz nights in Hood. Oh, thank you very much, Xander.
Thank you.
Dave Smith says a Frasier quiz. I'd love to do that. I'd have to revise again. As much as I've watched Frasier now and every other day, I would probably struggle to come up with it. Although I did see one which was really clever. Someone had actually designed a random Frasier box. Like they put a Raspberry Pi in a box and they put like a little button, and when they pressed it, it just played a random episode of Frasier on their TV, and I thought that was one of the best inventions I've ever seen. All right, there you go. We've had enough on that one. So let's get on with your
He's had
episodes.
enough.
So right, let's get on with the answers then. So again, these are all worth 2 points each. Every answer in the quiz is worth 2 points. It's always half right for 1 point and so on and so forth.
There's a lot of liking for your idea for a Frasier quiz.
I think my mum would play the Frasier quiz. She
I'd
loves
have to
Frasier.
watch that from scratch. That would be quite fun because I've never seen it. So I'd be coming up with questions that you wouldn't think of. Right, let's go with the answers.
Okie dokie. That's the wrong one. Good job no one saw it. Right. Okay, so again, these are all worth 2 points each. Right. So number 1, which aliens does the episode introduce? It is the Judoon.
The Judoon.
Charles says, no Frasier, please. Tracy will be on her own again. And Roy said, who is Frasier? Frasier Crane.
Number 2, Shakespeare's unfinished sequel was Love Labours Won against his original Love's Labours Lost. Apparently, there was a Love's Labours Won, but no one can find it. It's referred to, but never been found.
That's why it's unfinished.
Number 3.
What does the face of Bo tell the Doctor as he dies? He tells him, you are not alone. You are not alone. That's fine, it's gone up.
Number 4. Oh.
All of them do this.
Oh, do they?
You didn't take them out.
Which New York building is central to the plot? It is, of course, the Empire State Building.
Singleton Hospital was a setting for Royal Hope as well. Okay, moving on. How did the 4 Daleks escape the Time War?
As they always do.
It is emergency temporal shift. Emergency temporal shift, which I think is just is a MacGuffin, isn't it? Really, it's just a way of getting out of having to explain where they've gone.
I think it's just become such an in-joke.
Peter Steele is sorry. What's wrong? What's wrong?
Objection from Xander. Go on. Why do you reckon?
What's wrong? Yeah, but we're saying how did they escape the Time War?
And they escaped the Time War by an emergency temporal shift. That's what is actually said in the text.
They escaped the war by the void ship.
I'll accept both then. We'll accept the void ship.
Okay, yeah, void ship.
We'll accept that as well. I get where you're coming from with that. But they do mention in that episode that they escaped by emergency temporal shift. They actually say those words.
And they also then do it again in the episode as well. But there you go. Yeah, we'll accept the void ship. Yeah, technically you are correct, but I think it's the fact that we were going off what the episode actually said rather than actual being there.
Yeah, it's what they actually say in the actual script of it.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for letting us know.
Number 6. Martha compares the Doctor to James Bond when he's in his seat. See you, Fran.
Number 7. The title 42 relates to 42 minutes until they crash into the star.
Yes. It's actually got a named. It's actually named as a certain sun, a certain planet, certain sun.
I'm sure Xander knows. So there you go. So spaceship crashes into the sun. That's basically on that one. Well, basically, we got the question wrong. But thank you very much.
I don't think we did. It did say that in the plot. Number 8. This is yours, actually.
Oh, you're doing these at evens.
What does the Doctor throw? It was with a Sycorax. He threw a Satsuma.
If you said an orange, we'll give you that one. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's a Satsuma because it's Christmas.
Because it was a Christmas and it was in his...
Toraji was the name of the star. George Spencer beat you to it, Xander. It looks like on our comments. Moving on, number 9. Number 9, John Smith's book in this episode. He calls it his Journal of Impossible Things. His Journal of Impossible Things.
Well done if you got that one. That was a real tricky question.
The sun is a star. True that, says Andrea. Absolutely. Dead on. Question number 10.
Oh, well, we argued on that question. Which iconic Tennant phrase is first used in Blink? Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
In his dressing gown, yes, it was Poppy. Number 11. What is Jack Harkness's Doctor Detector? It is harking back to the Christmas episode. It's his hand. It's his hand.
The one with the bubbles.
Mm.
The Master's satellite network was the Archangel network.
Archangel for number 12. And then finally, question number 13. Who shoots the Master at the end of the episode? It is his wife, Lucy Saxon. Lucy Saxon for number 13.
I think Joe got caught out with the citrus fruit, as she called it.
Yeah, if you put orange on Saturday, we're not going to be too specific on that one. End of Days is a direct link to Utopia. They missed a perfect opportunity to have Jack in the opening credits. Yeah. People are actually being said though. Russell T Davies says that Utopia isn't actually part of the episode, isn't part of the story. He considers it not a 3-parter, but Utopia and then a 2-parter.
I always thought of it in those terms.
Yeah, RTD just says it like that, but there you go.
Yeah, I never saw it as a 3-parter. I thought it was a 2-parter that just led into... Because Saxon was all the way through the whole series in one way or another.
Mm. Okie dokie. So let us know what your score was out of that. You can get a total of 26 in that round, and I think the score sheet won't let you do it. Just in case, I'm going to make sure that's changed on there. Let me just do that. So I've got it set to 25, but it should be 26. So there we go. I'll do that for you there. Because I know some of you might have got the full questions correct on that one. There we go. 26. There you go.
Thank you so far to the 3 people who've donated on the PayPal. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Let's have a quick look at that straw poll. Look at on the actual screen. There you go. Look at that. So we've currently got Peter Capaldi still in the lead. That's on the straw poll, which I will pop back in there in case you missed it.
Jean-Paul Macron got 24 out of the 26.
Oh, we've got the Doctor Who Mega Nerds arguing on YouTube. Fantastic stuff. Love to see it. You love to see it. Get that on there. Right.
Oh, wait till the nerdy ones get onto the dingbats. That's going to be fun.
So 26 so far for Dave Smith. Well done. Right. Let's get on to the round number 2. And this one I will mute it again, as we've got music in this one. Right. Tennant's not on there, Joe, just because everyone always says Tennant's the best one. We wanted to try and see who your next best was. Otherwise, it would be obvious.
Yeah, everyone just goes for Tennant otherwise.
Jennifer Morris said, "Yay, I got the low score." Yeah. That's the most heartbreaking thing about the Family Blood storyline, is just how John Smith dies, essentially.
Yeah, and that was the main thrust of the whole second episode, wasn't it?
Karis wouldn't go for 10 anyway. Right. Well, that's the whole point of the vote. You can democratically see who the winner is. Right. On to round number 3. Joe says, yeah, give me the other boys and girls a chance. Yeah. If it's classic was counted, it would be 5th Doctor, says Liam on YouTube. If it was classic for me, I would probably say Troughton is my favourite. Yeah, the fact that Doctor visits Verity's granddaughter at the end of time. Right, okay, so on to multiple choice. For this one, you're going to get 30 seconds for each question. The question will appear on the screen. You'll get 4 possible answers, A, B, C or D. Again, you've got 30 seconds to decide what you think the answer is. And then there's a few extra seconds at the very end just for you to calculate your answer with your team captain in case you're in separate households.
We're also giving you a picture clue to which episode the question relates.
Xander's corrected himself. We've got 26, not 20. Didn't expect anything less. Okay, I'm going to do odds for this round.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1 then. Where does Kathy end up after her encounter with a weeping angel? Does she end up in Newcastle, Croydon, Hull, or Aberdeen? And your time starts now. Well done, Poppy. There you go. You can also see the little number 1 is moving around.
Yeah, it does a 360 and that is the end of your time. Also, it sweeps across from left to right on the colours and fills those in within the time period. Just said licorice all sorts, Mark. It's one of her random things again, I think.
Queen of random.
I don't like licorice anyway, so...
Alright, so let's take away the wrong answers, leaving your one remaining correct answer. Kathy does not end up in Newcastle or Croydon. It was Hull. Obviously, Aberdeen and Croydon being to do with Sarah Jane. And she's supposed to be dropped off in Croydon but ended up in Aberdeen.
Yes.
And I don't know why we picked Newcastle. I think that's just random.
Yeah, it was.
So 2 points for C if you put that for number 1.
Question number 2. What was the name of the consultant whose blood was sucked out by Mrs. Finnegan?
Was it Mr. Stoker, Mr. Shelley, Mr. Barker, or Mr. King?
I think you saw what we did with the names there.
Xander filling in the background details there. Thank you very much.
If you hear noise in the background, that's me topping up my water.
It's tough not to put 20 out of 20 when you get them all right in a round. I always do that as well. I always say it. But yeah, round number 1 was out of a total of 26. Alright then.
Okay, let's take away the wrong answers. It wasn't Mr. King. It wasn't Mr. Barker. It was Mr. Stoker.
Obviously being alluding to Bram Stoker, creator of Dracula.
Yes.
Hence the blood being sucked out. When I realised that during the episode, I was like, it didn't occur to me. Okay, moving on. Number 3. Number 3. Where does the Master send the Torchwood team in the final story? So where does the Master send the Torchwood team in The Sound of Drums? Is it Machu Picchu, Siberia, Papua New Guinea, or the Himalayas?
This was to explain why there were no Torchwood people in the episode. So the Master supposedly sent them off somewhere.
I think we've actually spelt Papua wrong as well. It should be Papua, not Papa. So I pointed it out before any of you did there on the comments. Thank you very much.
We're terrible at... Well, I'm terrible at spelling. probably my spelling that's in there.
I should have double checked it. We're equally at fault. All right. Final few seconds to finalise your answer with your team captain. So, where does the master send the Torchwood team in The Sound of Drums to keep them out of the way? It wasn't Machu Picchu, it wasn't Papua New Guinea, it was the Himalayas. The Himalayas. This country is sick. And I am the cure. I am the doc. Needs a doctor. Right.
Question number 4. Move on to the next sheet. Oh, I like this. What pre-World War I year does Human Nature take place? Was it 1910, 1911, 1912 or 1913?
And Xander has, in typical Xander fashion, quoted the line that the master uses about the Himalayas as well. I'm sure you've got scripts in front of you and you copy and paste. There's no way you could have remembered it all like that. I don't believe it.
He's probably the compiler of the fandom wiki.
Yeah, he might be the owner of the Bible, the Doctor Who Bible. Jennifer Morris has just said, "Gah." George Spencer says, "Okay, Xander is my mate, and even I'm scared of him. We should all be scared of Xander." The Doctor Who chaser. Okay.
Let's take away the wrong answers. It wasn't 10. It wasn't 11. It wasn't 12. It was the year before the war started, which had an extra poignancy.
Yes. Moving on then, halfway through now, number 5. Number 5, Lazarus's final face-off was in which London building? So Lazarus's final face-off was in which London building? Was it in St Paul's Cathedral, Southwark Cathedral, Westminster Cathedral, or St George's Cathedral?
I'm liking how everyone now is jumping in on the act. Marley Pierce, Monday, November the 10th, I believe. Brilliant. Brilliant, you know that sort of stuff.
So it's St Paul's, Southwark, Westminster, or St George's? Whoever quoted the dates in 1913 is correct, says Xander. There you go. You know you're right if you got that corrected by him. We're slightly delayed on our recording software. Hopefully that doesn't make any difference to you guys. Okay, let's take away the wrong answers. It wasn't Westminster. It wasn't St George's. It was Southwark Cathedral. Southwark Cathedral for number 5.
Okay, now this is the geeky question. This is the really geeky question. In that episode that you can see there, in a conversation that the Doctor has with Martha, he mentions, and I want to know, what colour grass tops the mountains in Gallifrey? Is it red, blue, silver, or gold?
Kara says, it was filmed in Wells Cathedral and I went to the school next door. There
was actually 3 places that they made you filming in. Because you were quoting it at me as you were looking it up while we were watching the episode. So this is the really geeky question.
But the fact that we're getting people saying they know things about the behind the scenes means we should put more behind the scenes questions in the quiz, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Bit more trivia. Actually, that being said, we were going to use it in this quiz, but Mark thought it was a little bit too hard. Does anybody know what the inspiration for The Sound of Drums was to Russell T Davies?
Oh, yes.
Does anybody know what the actual... what inspired him to do The Sound of Drums?
Actually, don't answer that just yet. Don't answer it in the chat. I'm hoping no one does because of the delay now.
They probably will.
If you haven't, we'll give a bonus point and we'll get you to say it later on. So if no one says it, we'll do it as a bonus point later on.
Okay.
So let's take away those wrong answers. It's not gold or blue. It is red.
Red. Fun fact, the first description of Gallifrey was in the first Doctor episode called The Sensorites by Susan. Ah, that's a cool one. The first person to describe Gallifrey wasn't even a Gallifreyan. She was half Gallifreyan.
Was she?
Well, she was his granddaughter, so I assume he...
Well, she could have been a Gallifreyan with a Gallifreyan. You don't know this.
I don't think she was a full Gallifreyan, but there you go. The Master also says red grass in The Sound of Drums.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right, so there you go. It was red for number 6.
Number 7.
Number 7. What was the first word Sally Sparrow uncovers on the wall in Wester Drumlins? Is it duck? Is it beware? Is it Sally? Or is it watch? Sometimes it looked like they were on fire. I think he does say that as well, Jocelyn, yes. So no one has put the bonus about the Russell T Davies.
Yes.
That's good.
So we'll give you till the end of this round to come up with it, and then we'll let you all. We'll see who's geeky enough to have actually known it, and whoever has got it right will give you a bonus point. You just add it on to the end of this round.
Yeah. So again, the inspiration for the actual sound of drums. Oh, Xander knows the answer. Of course he does.
I think he only does this quiz to catch us out. You know?
Yeah, probably does. He's there just to make sure that we keep in line. So what's the first word Sally Sparrow uncovers on the wall of Wester Drumlins? It's not Sally. It's not watch. It is beware. It's beware, Sally Sparrow. So beware for number 7. Question at number 8.
Question number 8. The epilogue of the Family of Blood episode shows the what of the Time Lord? Was it the patience, the revenge, the judgment, or the fury? As stated by the character that you could see there. I forgot his name again. Baines mentions it right at the end.
Jeremy Baines,
Yes.
son of mine. I think for a couple of you people, I think the RTD inspiration wasn't actually that hard of a question. I think some of you are very confident that you know the answer, which I'm very happy about, which makes you feel a bit vindicated. There you go. Anyway.
Smug mode cancel. We might even do Red Dwarf, actually. Let's take away those wrong answers. It was, of course, the fury of a Time Lord.
There we go. That was the worst thing. Never raised his voice. The fury of a Time Lord. So fury for D from Bright. Number 9. Question number 9. In which episode do we see a Sally Calypso on a TV screen? So which episode do we see Sally Calypso? Is it The Lazarus Experiment, The Sound of Drums, Gridlock, or 42? Where do you see Sally Calypso? The scene that Cenotaph made me very teary-eyed, says Sophia, yes. Alright, a couple of more seconds to finalise. So, which episode do we see Sally Calypso on a TV screen? It's not The Lazarus Experiment or 42. It is Gridlock. Of course, Sally Calypso being a hologram. It's not even real. So Gridlock for number 9. Alright, I'm heading out to be safe all. Thank you so much for your hard work, Mark and Alex. Thank you very much, Jocelyn. Enjoy yourself.
We'll see you next time.
Please stay safe. Keep yourself distance. Okay, and your final question.
And your final question. What type of rays were the Daleks wanting to harness in the episode? Was it gamma rays, alpha rays, beta rays, or ultraviolet rays?
Thank you so much, Jocelyn. My God, Xander even knows that Erica McLeod played Sally Calypso. Be honest, are you looking some of these up just to double check? 'Cause I'm not doubting your intelligence about it all, but I'm just wondering, do you not just double check to go, I need to make sure I'm right before I release my trivia? He really isn't, says George.
George says that you actually read that with as a.
He really isn't. Yeah. All right.
Let's take away the wrong ones. It wasn't ultraviolet. It wasn't beta. It was gamma rays.
It's always gamma rays, isn't it? I'm on a video call, says George. Oh, he's got the proof then, hasn't he? Gamma strike imminent in 40 rels. Good
Yes.
grief.
Okay, bonus question. You can answer it now if you want to in the chat, and when we'll give the points away. We just want to see who actually does know it.
Do you have a question of which classic story enemies we used in Gridlock?
We did have it in our list, but we haven't actually used it. I
No.
don't think. It was one of our lists.
Oh, what a surprise. There you go, yes. The Macra, that's it.
Yeah, the macro appeared in an earlier episode.
We've got people on all three of the one on our feeds. Marley Pierce said the alarm clock, Xander said the alarm clock, and Sophia said the alarm clock on Twitch.
If be honest, but if you got it was this alarm clock, you can add an extra bonus point to your score for round 2.
Yes. The Macra Terror, 1067. Oh, 1967. There you go. Kitchen's got 10 again. Well done, Kitchings. Okay. Now on to the one that I think even superfans might struggle with because they are from the twisted mind of Mr. Mark. Okay, let's get back to there.
Basically, I come up with them and I say, this is what I'm wanting, and then Alex transforms what I want into a graphical representation.
The Dunstons have said 8 was a hard round. We put B for all the answers who didn't know. So, and Anna said, turns out answering B for every question isn't the best idea. Well, you know, a broken clock's right twice a day. The picture behind you is hilarious. I like
What do you mean?
it.
This is his bedroom.
Yeah.
You got rid of the curtains.
Have we topped Aliens of London Dingbats? We may have, Sophia. We may have. Do you want to become a Dalek human hybrid with tentacles? No. Okay, right. Let's give it that. Let's have a quick look at that.
Paul?
Peter Capaldi is still leading, which is a surprise to me.
Matt Smith is catching up a little bit by 1 vote.
I'll put the link back. Sarah got 20. I don't believe you. There's the poll for you again. If you do want to vote for your favourite Doctor, I'll put it in there as well. Yep, my mistake. On there, and just in case a couple of viewers on Twitch want to see it, there's the straw poll. If you would like to vote, you don't have to. Okay, right. Let's get on with round number 3. It's your Dingbats. All right then.
Some of these are easier than others.
Yes, some of these are downright weird. And as we said with previous Dingbats, if you don't get all of these questions correct, you are normal.
Yes.
Okay,
It's the way my mind works.
so here we go. Jennifer did much better this time. Good stuff, Jennifer. Glad. Okay, so Dr. Dingbats. This is very similar to the game show. Who's that? Is it? What's it?
It's, basically American called Dingbats Whatsits.
Yes, we call it catchphrase over here, but legally it's not that. It's not that. Okay, so all of these are to do with either people, places, episode names, themes of the 3rd series, and a couple of these might just be long-running Doctor Who bits of trivia as well.
Yeah.
In this one.
But you'll get the gist of it once you see the first one. We put the easiest one first.
Yeah. So as soon as you see the picture, you will get 1 minute to come up with what you think the answer is. Okay. So again, these are all to do with Series 3 or Doctor Who, New Who as a whole. Here we go for your first one, the easiest one of the lot, I think.
What could that possibly
that
be? What could that be? George and Sandra are having a conversation that I haven't got a clue what they're on about.
About clothes disappearing during regenerations, I think. Dingbats is actually a board game too, says Fleur.
Oh, right. Dingbats is just a generic term, though, which we can use.
Yeah.
Touch more water. Sorry for the sound. So I just put Mr. Dioga, whatever his name was, went into Dalek sec. He was wearing gloves. He also had a head, which he lost.
Yeah, and 2 eyes that just became 1. Jack Wild says,
I think gloves are a minor issue.
Jack Wild says, it's Doctor Who. No, the answer we're looking for. Well, it's Sonic the Hedgehog, a screw, and a guy in a car. Also known as a driver. It is, of course, a sonic screwdriver.
So you get the gist of how this works.
Yes. And I will preface this by saying they only get worse.
Now. Yes.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Number 2.
Number 2, what could this possibly be?
Joe says, Mark, you can get drunk tomorrow if you want.
No, I can't. Today is the 31st, and I have 31 days sober. I've not touched alcohol in 31 days, and I don't intend to drink alcohol till I can go to a proper gig that isn't socially distanced. And then I'm going to be in a complete mess.
Yeah, Sophia, you got the gist of it. She said, "Oh dear." That means you know that someone's got the gist of what
Yeah,
we're
you
doing.
see how sad I can get with my ideas.
Again, because it's a number 2, fairly easy one, that one. One of these is so bad it makes Leons of London look like Michelangelo's David.
Which one are you meaning? Oh, that one. He rejected... This one he's on about, we'll tell you when we get there. But he rejected my first one. He said that's just even weird, even weirder. So I had to weigh it down a little bit.
Indeed. Okay, so that one, John A just said, "Oh my, number 2, yes." Oh,
Well, at least it's keeping you happy and entertained and you're loving it.
indeed. So what's that? It's a bow with a face. It's the face of Bo. And Jennifer says, "I'm glad it's fleshy coloured." That was completely unintentional. I just found a picture of a bow online and that was the one I found. So, face of Bo. Moving on then, number 3. What is this one? Here we go.
It's the fact that Johnny just said, "Oh my, number 2." Wait till we go later on. Just gonna look at the any more comments down there? Oh, next one.
Yeah, George and Xander just having their own continuity error conversation. "I'm physically in pain," says George on YouTube. I'm not surprised. I had to make this. I had to sit here.
Live 5 seconds. Marley reckons that one's easy. I think it is easy too, to be honest. But it was to get people in the right frame of mind for the later ones. It is, of course, Gridlock.
It's a grid full of padlocks. Gridlock.
This next one, when I told Alex what I wanted for this one, he looked at me and went, "Really?" So here comes number 4.
The fact I'm getting all these so far means they're too easy or I'm twisted in mind like Mark, says Kathleen. No,
Thanks, Kathleen.
don't worry, we've not gone to the real twisted ones yet. You still got time. "Can you tell my sister I got that one? Thanking you," says Joe. She got that one, Andrea.
You did this very well, to be honest, to say what I gave you as a description that I wanted.
Well, the one for Gridlock, Mark asked me to just make a lock made out of grids, and that's beyond my Photoshop skills, so I just had to do that. It's the simple ones that I like doing. That's just so simple but funny. Xander says, "What the?"
I did choose someone that was known on both sides of the pond for this one.
So, number 4, who is that? It is Simon Cowell. What's the shorter name for Simon?
Si
And what's he doing?
is kicking.
Some paper. It is Kick Paper. Jack Wild said sad. Yeah. That's fair.
No, I'll take that.
That's
I'll
fair.
take that. I'll take that.
So Kick Paper. So there we go. I think actually, if Xander didn't get that one, we might have outsmarted a quiz chaser. We might have actually done it. Oh no, we've missed this. We'll be able to watch later. My daughter loves the quizzes so much, says Kelly Joan. Of course.
And the previous quizzes are still available on our Facebook and YouTube pages. So Series 1 and Series 2 are available.
Yep, you can go on there. So yeah, you can always rewatch these.
Liam says, "Oh my God, love."
Yeah. All right, number 5.
Number 5. Let's see what you make of this one.
Here we go. Xander said, "Aye, last 20 seconds. Nice try, lads." The fact we made you sweat just a little bit, Xander, that's enough for me. Joe says, FFS, I didn't get that, and now I'm going to have to get you. Oh dear. How are you finding these, Sophia, over on Twitch? Are these still as bad?
She just went, oh dear.
That was for number 1, I think.
Oh, right.
I've only gotten worse.
We have generally done them so they get weirder as it goes on.
Yeah.
The idea is to lull you into the way my mind works, so at least you have a chance with some of them. I love Kathleen's emoji.
George says, ooh, that's a clever one, guys. Well, one man's clever, but another man's weird. Thank you very much. George says, I'm applauding. Thanks, George. Okay, so what's that? It's a U-turn, and it's the digits of your feet called your...
Toes.
And it is a pier. It is...
Utopia.
The
episode 11 in the series.
Right. Number 6. Number 6, which one is this one? Okay, Jelly. Okay, Kelly, you can put your scores in whenever you want. I'll leave the score sheet up until at least the next Doctor Who quiz, so I'll keep it updated for you. You're welcome to put your scores in anytime you want. If you are watching this one, catch up. As long as it's within the first couple of weeks of being up, you can put your scores in whenever you like.
Yeah, the next Doctor Who quiz will probably be in a month's time, in 4 weeks' time.
But next Sunday is our Harry Potter quiz.
Yes, so anyone who you know who loves Harry Potter, we're starting slightly early at 5:45, just so the kids can get involved. But do let them know and give them a link or invite them to the quiz on Facebook. That would be great.
Mm-hmm. Alright, there you go. Okay, so this one's, I would say, is more of a trough than a peak in the way this round has been going. So that's a vacuum
Cleaner.
Also known as a...
Hoover.
And that is...
Cruella de Vil.
It is...
Hooverville.
Which is the encampment in Central Park. Oh dear. Linda says this one's clever. Oh, thanks, Linda.
Let's see this next one.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. Which one's this one? Here we go.
I'm glad you're loving them.
Charles says, no, not getting these. If I put what I see, cowl in black, kicking paper, hoovering Cruella de Vil. Sanders asking about the specials quiz. Please include Voyage of the Damned, Dreamland, and the Infinite Quest. It'll build up the question. Trust me. And Sophia on Twitch said, I didn't get the last 2 until the last 10 seconds.
At least you got them. I do love your little curvy arrows that you keep putting in.
Yeah.
If you think these are weird, wait till you see our normal dingbats and our normal quizzes.
Oof.
We've got about 3 quizzes worth now.
Mm.
And we've created some real bonkers ones.
Right then, this one. It took me a while to try and find an actual person holding a stick like that. All the rest of them are all like Spartans. I didn't think it worked. So that is a man shaking a spear, and behind him there is some code. It is the Shakespeare Code. Yes. So there we go. The Shakespeare Code for number 7. I'm not proud of what I did, by the way, you know. Okay.
Tannin Hawk, I got this one because of the Stardust movie. Liam went, woohoo.
Number 8.
Okay, let's see what you make of this one.
Sophia says, very clever, thank you. George says, right, I'm jumping out the window now, that was too much.
You've got more to come.
Yeah.
If you think that's worth jumping out of the window for, wait till you get to the next one.
Ooh. Didn't even notice the background of that one, says Dave. There's a lot to unpack, isn't there?
Deanna says these are making my head hurt.
Make sure there's an open TARDIS below, says Liam. Always check for open TARDISes. They can get worse, George. Yes, they can.
You want to see the ones we rejected.
Okay, so what do you see there? You see
A Men at Work sign.
in a
Net.
and you see an
Angel.
under an.
Arch.
It is the Archangel Network. Yeah.
John is loving these.
Alex says, I live in a bungalow, so we're back in a minute. I love the comments. It's either 50-50. It's, oh my God, what have you done? Or that's a good one. I love it. George says, wow, I miss alcohol.
Right. This is the one where I went a bit warped. That he even told me I couldn't have what my original intention. I had to water it down a bit to make it a bit easier.
Yeah. If you've got this one, no clues, because this is by far the worst or the best, depending on how you look at it. Here we go. John A says, just loving these. Good.
Are you able to just get ready the alternative that we can show?
Maybe. Liam says, that's the first one I got straight away. Really?
That's not bad.
No.
Well, so we just have to explain it.
That is. Alright.
All right.
Yeah, no changing people's names on the score sheet, please. Find an empty cell. Or we'll throw you an empty cell. Only kidding. Right, so number 9.
We've got a machine, and we've got 2 doctors that could also be referred to as as a pair of doctors, a paradox machine. Now, my original idea for this, which Alex thought was a little too hard,
Was that one?
was that one, which was a pair of Doc Martens.
I didn't think it was clear enough that they were Doc Martens. That was my only thing on that one. I wasn't overly sure it was the. It was good enough on that one.
Liam with, oh my God.
Literally the last second for George. Good. Okay. So yeah, we were going to do Doc Martens, but I thought a pair of Docs would have been better. That would have been easier for George.
All right.
Well, there you go. Hindsight's 2020, I suppose. And finally, number 10.
I'm going to build a window on my roof so he can jump out of it, says Alec.
What's that one? Number 9 is clearly a criminal offence, said Andrea. I was going for a doctor detector. Ooh, if it wasn't for the fact there was 2 doctors, I would have maybe allowed that. But it was a pair of docs. Paradox. I think
I'm glad you've enjoyed them anyway. Dave reckons the boots would have been better.
So is Michelle.
Yeah.
Well, I made a mistake there, didn't I, really?
I got overruled on that one.
Could have used a symbol for a document, says Liam. That's a good idea. Could have done that one, couldn't I? Doc, yeah. But I didn't. Simple as that. I went for what I thought was easier.
So this was slightly easier, we thought, just to round the round off. It is, of course, Torchwood.
It's a group of men with torches in a wood. What more can you ask for? Brilliant quiz. Thank you, says Michelle. Thank you so much, Michelle.
George is liking that one.
He's giving us a round of applause. Either that or he's slapping himself because he's so sick of the round. Right. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm really enjoying myself tonight. Your banter is absolutely wonderful. Keep it coming.
Okay, so let us know what your score was on that one. 8 out of 10 for John 8 says, I'll take that. Fair enough. Sarah says, I can't believe I've got every question right so far.
We can't either.
Liar. Wrong. I didn't get all the dingats, so then I must be saying a normal, says Kathleen. Yes.
Yes. You get 2 points for each of those dingbats. Each round is worth 20 points. More or less.
For all the moaning, the kitchen's got 14. That's not a bad score. And you guys know at first hand how weird Mark's mind gets.
I think that's why they got 14.
Yeah.
Not that they knew Doctor Who, they just worked it out.
Yeah. My head hurts after this round, says Sophia. Well, hopefully we'll soften the blow with round number 4. Okay, let's get back to that one on the desktop. Otherwise, it might get a bit weird. Right. So currently, it's still Peter Capaldi in the lead on our poll. One more time, I'll put that in there. I don't think it's going to change much now, but we'll see. So there you go. 9 out of 10, and I'm not ashamed that we didn't get number 9. Shame on you. Shame on you, says Alec. Yes, fair enough, my friend. Shame on us, really. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just loving these comments.
Okay, right then. Let's get on now to your 4th and final round. I can't believe it's the 4th and final round already.
It's gone so quickly tonight, hasn't
It
it?
has. I've loved this, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you do enjoy it, make sure you share it to other people. I think a lot of people, when they think of our quizzes, think of just a man in front of a screen reading some answers out. And as you can see, we're a little bit more than that. So if you do want to share it, please do.
And if you can give us a bit of a review in the Doctor Who forums that are out there, perhaps with a link back to, say, the YouTube video, so people can see that.
Yeah.
Just so they can get a gist of what it's like for the next one.
Yeah, we just want to get out there more. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who do quizzes that are of a weird standard, but get a lot more traction. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. I mean, sometimes we don't get anywhere. So if you could share it and share a like, it'd be really nice.
Particularly on the forums, just actually make comments on the forums that you did this quiz and it was really good. That would be unbelievably helpful to us.
And we do make all this absolutely 100% by hand. We do all the research, we do all the graphics, we do all the music. So.
Oh, George is now taking over from Xander, who's commenting about the fact that we've used the wrong series picture for Martha.
Good grief.
Oh dear.
Anyway, round number 4 is... You hated it before, you're going to hate it again because she comes back now. Yeah, there she is again. That's Series 4, Martha, and Series 3. Ridiculous. Link to the YouTube, says Joe. The YouTube is there. YouTube.com/QuizActually. We're everywhere on QuizActually. There you go.
Yeah, particularly for us, it's in those forums and getting people in those forums knowing about it.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is just general knowledge about Series 3 of Doctor Who, or Doctor Who on the whole. Yes. Okay, here we go then. I'm going to do odds.
Okay.
Right, starting back now. Number 1. What is the first episode of Series 3 called? So what is the first episode of Series 3 called? Also, just checking, Xander, is that the correct Doctor from the correct season that I'm using? I don't know. It was more of ease than anything. Searching for a clean image of David Tennant. Not as easy as you might think in terms of having cut out. Yes, thank you so much, Joe. Sharing, as always. She's a sharing machine.
Question number 2. What is the name of the aircraft carrier in the series finale?
Sherlock quiz, says Fleur. And how dare we call Sarah a liar? You don't even watch Doctor Who. I know you're lying. Sherlock would be quite good. There's not many episodes of Sherlock. We could do all them in a couple of weeks. Series 4 again, says George on YouTube. And Xander says, I'm right. Good. As far as he knows. Which is code for I am definitely right.
We do put these out of series things in deliberately just to check whether you notice or not.
Just for the real...
Yeah, we do it deliberately.
Right.
Anyway, put that back as you had it. We've got a TARDIS and you haven't, so no.
No.
Yeah. Question 3.
Number 3. What is the name of the device that the Doctor uses to change his DNA? My chat is out of sync. George says, it hurts my soul of what's left. I think the Tennant image is from Partners in Crime, says Dave Smith. Now, how do you know that? Please tell me. I just want to know.
We just love how geeky some of you are.
I want to know
it's
how you
wonderful.
do that. It's amazing. That's where the budget went, says Joe. Yeah, it wasn't easy to decorate the room like this.
We saved on the curtains before, so you had a bit of money to do it.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an in-joke for you. Number 4. Ooh. What revelation happens at the end of the episode in Cardiff?
So see episode 13. So what's the big revelation?
I'm drinking a lot of water tonight. I think this is about my 5th glass.
You don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. Indeed, Roy. The Bob Ross philosophy.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
I'm going to put a little tree right there. Yeah, Sandra says, my chat's really hating me now. I'll just put random facts wherever. Fair enough. The easy thing to do is come out of YouTube and go back in. If you ever have problems with being out of sync or the video's not quite right, 9 times out of 10, leaving the app or the video and then going back in sorts it.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of smacking your TV and it doesn't work right. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. This is the first episode of Doctor Who to use the city of Manhattan in its title, which denotes its setting. The next episode to do the same would be what? So this is the first series of New Who to use the city of Manhattan in its title, which denotes its setting. The next episode to do the same would be what? Xander says, F5, you genius. Sarah says, Bob Rossillosophy. I like that. I just like the fact that I said it right first time.
Smugmore cancel again. This is so much fun, guys. Thank you for this. We're really enjoying this one.
So yeah, what other episode uses Manhattan in its title?
She's now so big they'd probably never be able to get her back in again. But Sally Sparrow was played by which actress?
Ooh, Linda didn't stand in that TARDIS, but have on Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi's twice. Well, when we get to Matt Smith's, we will have Matt Smith's TARDIS. I mean, I'll purposely build it, you know. All that. Brian Hayworth says, girlfriend's loving the quiz.
Oh, great.
Your girlfriend's got good taste then. Obviously, she knows you.
Oh, you smoothie.
All right, so we need point for first name, point for surname for anything, all of these as well. Number 7. Number 7. When trapped in Lazarus's machine, what does the Doctor do to swap the settings inside so it affects outside and not in? So when trapped in Lazarus's machine, what does the Doctor do to swap the settings inside so it affects outside and not in? I hate Sally Sparrow actress because she's married to my man crush Mumford & Sons sing in real life. I don't know why George Spencer's comments sometimes get held for review. You didn't say anything wrong there.
Yeah, he just said, I stood in that TARDIS and it got held for review. How bonkers is that?
Weird. Sarah says, both seem very chipper tonight. We're just excited to do Doctor Who.
We're loving your banter back. We're loving your banter back. We're feeding off it. It's great.
Oh, the handbrake got told off. Did it again?
It did it again.
Oh, auto-moderator handled this. Well, you bloody didn't. I did. Right, moving on. Number 8.
Number 8. Oh, I like this one. Think about this. Joan Redfern was the 3rd character in the revised series to decline an invitation to travel with the 10th Doctor. Who were the previous 2 for 1 point each?
I was lucky enough to do 3 studio tours, says Linda. I'd love to do a studio tour. When the world gets back to normal.
We'd end up nicking stuff, though.
I do remember, though, as well, I was listening to the podcast with David Tennant and Neil Gaiman, and they were saying that Neil Gaiman had plans to do a few things with David Tennant's actual TARDIS background, so they couldn't get rid of it for years. They wanted to take it down and flat pack it like they always do with things, but Neil Gaiman said, I might use that eventually. And he had so much pull with the BBC, they were like, well, if Neil Gaiman's going to write an episode about David Tennant's TARDIS, then we must have to keep it.
Yeah.
Much to their annoyance.
Well, I think there was a bit of an issue between Moffat and Gaiman, which is why he didn't write... Was it with Moffat?
No.
Why he didn't write again?
New Who.
Yeah, in New Who itself,
But we'll talk about the 10th Doctor either way.
but of the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, so it is, yeah. And number 9. Number 9, which episode featured the Carrier Knights? So which episode featured the Carrier Knights? Again, I forgot to put the music on, so it's just me and Mark awkwardly smiling at you. Also, just for another thing, if you are of the artistic nature and you do want to send us some of your fan art, we will feature it in the backgrounds of all the quizzes. We've only got one that we actually got to give it in from Bethany Pierce, aka Time Lord Girl 98 on Instagram. But yeah, if you do, or your children, do you want to draw us a Doctor Who picture? We can put it in our background.
Yeah, and also if you know people who do fan art on the various forums that you are, if they want us to include fan art, we do give full credits on who it is by, etc. We're more than happy to do that.
Obviously, there's no pay involved because we're currently asking for donations. We're not unfortunately not in that position to offer a little fee for it.
Yeah.
But
Basically, we are living off donations and our savings and all
yeah.
that.
Speaking of which, if you do want to donate, it's paypal.me/quiz actually. Even a couple of pounds or dollars, or what you think your time's worth, then it would be much appreciated if you could.
Yeah. We don't feel that you have to give it a big amount. Small amounts make a difference to us, I promise you. Okay, another geeky question. Final question of this quiz in the final round is this. What is the final word of the series?
This season, essentially.
Yeah.
So the final word of this season.
How are we on time? Oh, we're all right. Spot on for time.
Alrighty. We'll have a quick recap, or as I like to call it, a recap.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to correct you.
What?
Utopia technically is by in official terms is included in the final 2 episodes because it's called A, B and C. I'm just looking at the story numbers. For the geeks, no extra points, but just purely for the geeks, what story number is Utopia, Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords? What official number is given to it? Just purely for bragging rights, for the real heavy geeks out there.
George is rubbing it into Xander that he met Tom Baker. Unfortunately, Xander didn't, I don't think.
I did. Great little story, which I told last time, so I won't repeat it.
So there's donate get fun if you do want to donate. PayPal.me/quiz actually. Any and all donations, big or small, are really appreciated. It lets us know that what we've done is worth your money.
No one's coming up with that number. I thought we might have a
I
mega
don't know.
geek knowing that
Maybe
number.
Xander might have a different sort of numbering system. It
No,
might,
this is the official numbering system.
according to...
BBC, it's how they number it.
Right. I think you've gone past Superfan and then into the
Well, yeah.
photographic memory mode of people. That
Well, that's Sandra, isn't it? And obviously George as well.
So again, what story number is Utopia, Sound of Drums, and Last of the Time Lords?
They're numbered A, B, or C.
Good God.
Dave Smith, well done.
It is story 187. Wow. And also, unfairly to Xander, he is out of sync, so you might have known, but unfortunately, Dave Smith, you were there first, my friend.
Sanders fuming now.
I bet so.
The geek has been out geeked.
Joe, this is just season 3. George Spencer did 187A, yes. Well done. Love it.
You thought it was too hard for them. No.
Linda said, I love that. She was trying to do a comment and she's actually not even given time to put a space because she was so quick on the Twitter. She what? Met Danny Hargis, 187B. I love that. I love it. She wanted to get her thing in there so quickly she didn't bother getting rid of her other comment. I love it. Met Danny Hargreaves, 187B. By the way.
Dave worked backwards from Planet of the Dead. That's even geekier.
Love it. Whatever you got there, I love it. All right, that is your recap.
Let's go with the answers.
Let's go with the answers then. Let's do that. So it does seem at the end of the quiz that Peter Capaldi is the winner of the favourite Doctor after David Tennant in New Who, with 39% of the votes.
So I think next time we do it, and we take out Peter Capaldi, and see who comes next.
All right. On then... Excuse me. Give it a donate button. There we go. All right, so on to round 4's answers. To series 3. Universal knowledge. There you go, knowledge. We're in there. Should do a poll for favourite companion. We'll do that next. Yeah.
Yeah, favourite companion in New Who.
There'll be a few of those. And then people will be like, oh, how do you define a companion? Are they in more than one episode? That'll be fun. Right.
We're going to do it off what we want it to be.
Yes. So the first episode of this series is Smith and Jones.
Smith and Jones.
The name of Don Smith and Martha Jones.
The aircraft carrier is the Valiant.
Favourite creature, that's another good one. I like that. Favourite creature. Number 3, the device the Doctor uses to change his DNA. It is the Chameleon Arch. In disclaimer, I was also away for Utopia question thing. Fair enough, Sander. Sigh, Series 4 promo images again, George Spencer said. Sorry. Well, yeah, that being said, you know, when it comes to voting who the best companion was, you've got it right there, haven't you? Marley Pierce. Without a doubt, it's got to be Wilf. Wilf is the best companion. Come on.
What I liked about Wilf was Bernard Cribbins basically stole every single scene that he was in, even if he had no dialogue.
Yeah, he really chewed the scenery.
He literally made you notice him.
Yeah.
Okay, the revelation that happens at the end of episode 13 is that Jack might be the face of Bo.
They have backtracked a little bit on that, writer-wise, saying that they weren't quite going to say it was there.
It isn't confirmed.
It's not fully canon. It makes a reappearance in the Poison Sky before being shot down by the Stolen Earth. Yes.
Moving swiftly on.
Number 5. The first series of Doctor Who to use Manhattan in its title, which denotes its setting. The next episode will be much later on in The Angels Take Manhattan. The Angels Take Manhattan for number 5. Bernard Cribbins was a companion twice. Yeah, very few have that honour. Jack is the face of Bo after Russell T Davies confirmed it in the tweet-along of New Earth. I read in the background on the Wikipedia that they didn't confirm it fully. But there you go. Maybe I'm not as up to date as you.
I was just looking at George's comments. He obviously can't put it in German. Sally Sparrow was played by the absolutely brilliant Carey Mulligan.
Also, if you haven't seen Promising Young Woman, you should as well. That's very, very good. Very good movie. Number 7. When they're trapped in Lazarus machine, the Doctor does the settings to reverse it. It's, of course, the classic. Reverses the polarity.
Okay, one for the geeks, because it gets used in all sorts of sci-fi now about reversing the polarity. It's become a bit of a meme within sci-fi programmes. Was it first used in Doctor Who, or was it used somewhere else? Just for the ultra geeks who will probably know. I think it was.
Kathleen says, nope, Carey Mulligan's married to my man Marcus Mumford.
She's not having that one, is she?
Break.
Okay, John Redfern was the third character in the revised series to decline an invitation to travel with the 10th Doctor. Who were the other two? They were Sarah Jane Smith and then Donna Noble.
After they were obliged, she obviously didn't want to travel with him, and then doing the adipose, she came back. Yeah, so Sarah Jane said no, and then Donna Noble also said no first. And then she couldn't help herself. They all come crawling back. Number 9. Which episode had the Carrier Knights in it? It was, of course, the Shakespeare Code.
Episode 2.
It's a very clever way of doing that, having words as maths. It was a really, really cool concept.
And what is the final word of the series? Correct. What is the final word of the series? When the Titanic breaks into the TARDIS. What?
It was also the same word that was used for the end of Series 2 when Donna Noble appeared in the TARDIS. He also said what?
I think that there's a lot of little plays that go on with all this.
I believe so. Third Doctor era.
Mm.
Ah, there you go. War of the Worlds, 1888. False, said Xander.
Liam says, what about Mickey? What about Mickey? Ooh.
What?
No, I don't. Super fans, did Mickey refuse to go an invitation to go into the TARDIS?
Yeah, did the Doctor invite him though? Or was it Rose saying you can tag along? I'm not sure. It was used in Star Trek, says Linda. Yeah, I think Star Trek might have took it from Doctor Who, possibly though. Reversing the polarity is the sci-fi equivalent of turning your computer on and off again when it doesn't work, says Tanner Hawk.
Yeah, Kitty's just said the same thing. I'm going.
Mickey declines in Series 1, but that's with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
We need to say the 10th Doctor. Yeah, so we were asking for the 10th though in the question though.
Yeah, the question was specifically about the 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mickey was offered, but it was by Eccleston, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
So we were right.
3 points. Told you I was no good, said Roy. Well, you gave it your best shot. You gave it the old college try. No, he has to go, said Caris.
Yeah, that was later on.
Yeah. And again, in the order of who was asked, it was the first one was Sarah Jane, then it was Donna, and Mickey might have later on, but we're asking the first two. Right. So that was your quiz. Thank you so much for playing. We're going to have a minute or so to get your scores on that score sheet, and we'll look who the winners were. So reverse the polarity of the neutron flow was first used in War of the Worlds, says Xander. So your nerdery still extends even further than Doctor Who then. Fantastic. 75 for Marley Pace, bloody dingbats. Love it. 95 out of 100 for Kitty Day. Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much for playing, Tracy. Tracy's got 3 in the last round. Oh, overall score 37. But to say you're not Doctor Who fans, that's still a good score.
As long as you've enjoyed... The main thing to us is you enjoy yourself. If you're enjoying yourself, that's great.
Deanna Carden said Mickey invited himself at the end of school reunion when Sarah Jane said you need a Smith on board.
Yes, he did invite himself. He wasn't offered.
He didn't decline.
He didn't decline.
An invitation.
That was purely with...
Phew.
Right. I think it's time to bring the score grid in.
Excuse me. That's not the one. That's the one. Joint first again, says George Spencer. 76 out of 86 can live with that. Curse you, dingbats, said Dave Smiths. George Spencer says, we declare tiebreaker. There is nothing that we could ask you guys that you wouldn't know. So there's no point.
Maybe there is.
I don't think there is. We've still got a couple of teams that haven't put the final score in, so I will give it another minute.
Okay. Tiebreaker. George, first of all, though, George, is this your first quiz? Doctor Who quiz that you've done with us?
No.
Or have you been on the others?
Previous, he's been previous.
Okay, so tiebreaker for those two who were claiming tiebreakers.
But I think Xander and George are on the same team.
Alright, so who's the other ones who are in the same position?
I don't know, it's getting overcomplicated.
Well, we'll leave it then.
Yeah.
We'll leave it for now.
Like I said, there's nothing we could ask the chaser that he wouldn't know. This is a legal application of a tiebreaker against Sophia on a lonesome, says Xander. Well, we're not declaring it. If you want to do that, we can do it, but it wouldn't be fair to everybody else, I don't think. Right, let me get this sorting in order. You talk while I do this, please.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of teams haven't put their final score in, but if you do, I will update your score sheet for you. 90 out of 86, said Sarah. Wonderful. 81 out of 86. Sorry, we can't count, says Kitty. That's okay. Took this quiz while also taking a call, said Jennifer. Multitasking. And John Paul got 78 out of 86. Sarah Yu said that is a very bad 62.5%.
The question I was going to ask, based on the previous quizzes, I talked about the time that I met Tom Baker, which was when I got a book signing, and I got completely starstruck, and how wonderful Tom Baker was with that. What was the book that I mentioned that I bought?
Even I don't know that, and I'm related to you.
I mentioned it in a previous quiz, so let's see if anyone can remember which one it was.
And George says, Xander's slightly drunk, so Sophia might have a chance. YouTube just seems to block weird stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Scratchman.
I don't think Sophia's even got an answer for us in the Twitch. Are you still there, Sophia? Oh, of course you are, because you said Mickey declined in Series 1. That wasn't that too long ago. Sarah said, was it a book you've been mentioned in?
Sorry, that's naughty. See, this is the normal kind of abuse I get.
I like that. We've got 3 teams up together on the score sheet. They're all from the USA. We've got, let's have a look, we've got Leeds and Gallifrey, of course. Conway, we've got Crawley, Hove and Reading, London, York, Ledworth, very good, Space Bears. Bladensburg, Ohio.
No, they're not getting anywhere near. It was a Target book. If that makes it any easier, going back in the day.
Showing your age a bit there, I think.
Yeah, I was young at the time. I did say this.
Doctor Who monster books, said John Paul.
No.
The time I met Tom Baker, says Mark, so we all get jealous. Just like my roommate says, I took a photo with Davey, Peter and Alex.
Well, while we're waiting on that, I'll retell the tale for those who didn't know, didn't see it. Essentially, I got there really early. I was doing a book signing in the next town. I was in my early teens. I got there too early. The shop hadn't even opened by the time I got there. I was that excited. Went to a coffee shop round the corner. By the time I got back, the store was open. The queue was tremendously long. So I got the book, which no one seems to have got yet. Oh, yes, he did. Xander got it, Giant Robot. It was the robot. So I got the book, stood in the queue, and getting more and more excited as I got up. When it came to my turn, I completely froze, completely starstruck. And all these flunkies around him, who were part of the store and stuff, got really agitated because there was a massive queue. And they were coming around the table to basically move me on or whatever. And Tom just went like that with his arm to stop them and gave him a look to say, I'll deal with this. And he looked me straight in the eye, gave me that biggest, broadest grin that only Tom Baker can do, and picked up a bag of Jelly Babies off the table and went, do you want a Jelly Baby? And it just completely broke the spell. I had a Jelly Baby, quickly signed and off. But his behaviour was just unbelievable, and that's why he's my favourite Doctor of all time.
Dave Smith says, but he met Bernard Cribbins for a photo one time. Just being in his presence felt like meeting lovable granddad. Great man. And Sophia says, my Doctor Who knowledge only covers the RTD era. Once you get to Series 5, I'll be a bit of an amateur. Ah, well, everyone's an amateur in something.
Well, you can always catch up.
Indeed. Yeah, that's one advantage you've got over Xander, that he hasn't met Tom Baker and you have. So he might be the world's biggest Doctor Who nerd, and you might wear that medal proudly, but unfortunately you didn't meet Tom Baker.
Oh, I had that niceness off Tom Baker either.
Sorry, Xander. Okay, right. So those scores. So we've got the teams that have actually got the full score in. I'll start there just to keep it safe. The Timey-Wimey's got 48.
If you move your head a little bit.
Reverse Neutron Flow got 50. Nice, above it's fine. Skeet and Bergdorf got 53. The Little Shop that David Tennant loves has 54. I like that team name. Guardians of the Pandoric have 55. Liam Acquiesce has 65. Gangsters from Gallifrey have 68. 70 for the Extraterrestrial Space Bears. And Freezing My Felt Balls Off in Ohio. The Guy Doesn't Know Much have 71. The Lone Assassin has 72. 74 for Leave the Girl, It's the Man I Want. 75 for the Jedi Time Lords. 77 for the Lone Sloth. 80 points for Trivia Answering Regular Dudes and Seacroft. 84 points for the Master of the Unicorn Sardines. And 87 for Linda United and Sophia on her Lunston with 87. So well done to you two teams. Sophia said, I met Tennant for a photo op back in 2019. I was dressed as Khal Drogo and he said I looked amazing. I cried afterwards.
Aww.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, Tom Baker, what is he, 6'4"?
He's very tall, and he's also in proportion. So he was in full costume. So he had the coat, the scarf, the hat, and he's just literally spread out. He just looks huge.
Kathleen Herman says, I met Guy Fieri once. Just wanted to put out my famous celebrity meeting. Did he take you down to Spice Town?
Fleur is requesting a Buffy quiz. Buffy is definitely on the card as Mr. For what Xander is to Doctor Who, Alex is to Buffy.
Ooh, I'd never compare myself at any level to Xander. But yeah, I am quite good at Buffy. Xander said the tiebreak was a victory for us. That's fair, but I mean, obviously Sophia said she was on a toilet break as well, so...
Sarah, in answer to your comment there, you want to hear what Bez has to say about him from the Happy Mondays.
I've met Steve Coogan twice as well. He's cut me off in traffic twice.
Yeah?
Yeah. He is a knob. I also worked with Camille Coduri on a film shoot, and we talked about Doctor Who. She said she stopped after Matt Smith, but she loved Capaldi. Oh.
All right.
My son and I met the wonderful Peter Davison. Yet to meet any of the doctors, but there is still time. There is. And Xander just said, sod off, George.
I really like Camille. I thought she was a cracking character actor. She played that part wonderfully. She knew what was expected of her to play that part, and she did it brilliantly.
Andrew said, can we do this one again next week? I better get a bigger score. You're welcome to replay it.
But yeah, just do it again off the YouTube or Facebook.
Sarah also saw Dev from Corrie driving through London and he gave us a wave. I once met Jack Davenport and I didn't know what to say, so I just shouted, Jack! And he turned around and waved at me. Jack Davenport was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm glad you said that because I had no idea.
And Green Wing. My favourite line is, I'm going to get killed by a Christmas tree. She'd have a way of doing those lines. They were fantastic.
My bit was when she tries to seduce Eccleston.
Anything could happen. Nah.
No.
Good night from Roy from Kerno, Anita, Anna, Fleur and Alec. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Roy.
Andrew's asking the link to donate, Alex. We could put that in and pin it now.
The link to donate is that paypal.me/quiz actually, and I will pin that in there as well when it comes up. There you go. Alright, I'll take that preview away. If you do want to donate and you are on YouTube, it'd be very nice if you could.
You don't have to be a member of PayPal. You can go on as a guest, so that's fine. and seriously, just £1 or £2, $1 or $2, it does make a difference to us.
Thank you, John A. Phillipson, for another awesome quiz. You're very welcome. Trevor Feelgood says, I don't want to go.
I think that's the best line we've had.
But we are going to go in 2 minutes because it's getting a little bit late.
Yes.
And these lights are very warm. Big thank you from my wife, my 10-year-old son and I. 3 happy Whovians. Huge thanks. That's the nicest thing we could get, John Paul. Thank you so much.
And we're loving that the younger people are getting involved as well, because we love that.
Also, John Paul, I'm glad you had a real brain box in your team. See you tomorrow, lads, says Sarah. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for our normal quiz.
Thank you very much, Xander. Yes, we are back tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. GMT for a general knowledge quiz. We're then back on Friday for another general knowledge quiz, and then Sunday, 2 hours earlier, will be our Harry Potter quiz. Is that why you're sweating, Alex? Yes, these are very hot lights. I would take it off and show you, but I can't. I mean, I've got this one. Oh, it's a big blooming light. And so the green screen doesn't look shoddy. 3 p.m. for the Americans. Thank you very much.
Well, it depends which part of America you're in.
Indeed. As it is so big. George says, honestly, I don't know if I'm blessed or cursed with Xander. I couldn't possibly say.
No, we couldn't possibly say.
No, let's get that music on play as well. My Facebook is replaying the quiz. I know the answers now, says Jennifer. Or maybe you've just travelled in your own little TARDIS. Thank you, Karen D on YouTube. Alright guys, well done to everyone playing. And I think at some point we need to make some real hard ones that even Xander doesn't know, but if that's going to be possible or not, we'll have to see. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much for donating. If you can, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all the rest. Really helps.
Yeah.
Dave Smith will check out the Potter quiz. Be around for the next 2 quiz. There you go. Fantastic stuff. All right. Thank you very much. We shall see you very soon. Stay happy, stay safe, and most of all, please be kind.
But don't eat pears.
No.